Hi, I'm Evan, 36, and I found out my wife was cheating on me because our dog refused to get in her car. Sounds dramatic, I know. It wasn't. It was quiet, the kind of quiet that only exists before your life tips over. Let me rewind. We've been married 8 years. Me, HVAC tech, own my own little business in Milwaukee suburbs. Her, Claire, 33, HR manager for a logistics company. We met in 2013 at a friend's barbecue. She laughed at one of my dumb dad jokes before I even finished it, and that was it. We bought a modest 2-story in Brookfield. Nothing fancy, but I redid the kitchen myself, new floors, new cabinets, everything square and level. We got a golden retriever named Murphy in 2017. He's the kind of dog that loves everyone, except he'd started acting weird around her lately. Wouldn't ride in her car. Growled at her gym bag once. I thought maybe he smelled another dog. Turns out he smelled a man. October 4th, 2024. 6:12 p.m. I came home early. I'd finished a ductless install ahead of schedule, figured I'd surprise her. House was empty, but her car was in the garage. Purse gone. Murphy sitting by the window, tail twitching. On the counter, 2 wine glasses. One in the sink, one on the table. Candle burned halfway down. Nothing else. At first, I thought maybe she had a friend over. Except the second glass wasn't one of ours. It was a cheap crystal one with a logo from some corporate retreat. 7:03 p.m. She walked in, hair still damp, wearing jeans and one of my hoodies. "Oh, hey," she said, surprised. Too surprised. "You're home early." "Yup," I said. "Murphy missed you." She smiled, but her eyes didn't. "How was your day?" "Fine," I said. "Yours?" She shrugged. "Work. Gym. The usual." That was her first lie. She dropped her bag on the chair, same bag Murphy had growled at last week. When she went to shower, I opened it. Inside, men's deodorant. Not mine. And that was it. That's the moment I knew. Not a dramatic discovery. Not a text message or a lipstick smear. Just deodorant. At 7:42 p.m., she came back downstairs, towel drying her hair. I was sitting at the kitchen table, bag open, deodorant front and center. She froze. "You went through my stuff? Whose is it?" Her eyes flicked to the door, then back to me. "It's mine. It's Old Spice swagger, Claire. Unless you've started using testosterone, that's not yours." She didn't answer. Just crossed her arms and exhaled like I was the one being unreasonable. Finally she said, "Evan, you're making a big deal out of nothing." I nodded. "You're right. So let's make it a small deal." She frowned. "What?" "Let's call your gym buddy and clear it up." Her face strained. "You're insane." "No," I said calmly, standing up. "Just thorough." She backed toward the door. "You don't want to do this right now." "Why not? You seem dressed for honesty." That's when she snapped, not angry, not defensive, but tired. "Fine. Yes. I've been seeing someone. It's not serious. It just happened. I'm not proud of it." There it was. Not tears. Not apologies. Just boredom. Like she was returning an overdue library book. I didn't yell. Didn't throw anything. Just said, "Then I guess this marriage just happened too. And now it's over." She blinked. "You're not serious. I'm calling my lawyer in the morning." She laughed, an ugly, brittle sound. "You wouldn't dare." I opened my phone, scrolled to Jeffrey Lawson, attorney, and hit dial. She didn't laugh after that. Sunday morning, 8:11 a.m. I was at the kitchen table with coffee, Murphy at my feet, and my lawyer on the phone. Jeffrey Lawson, 58, balding, sharp as a nail gun. He handled my business contracts, drafted my will, and once got my cousin out of a traffic violation that could have cost him his license. When you work with HVAC, you learn to keep good professionals in your contacts, mechanics, Electricians, lawyers. He listened while I laid it out, every detail. When I finished, he said, "You have proof?" "Just intuition and deodorant." He chuckled softly. "Sometimes that's all it takes. You want to file immediately?" "Yeah. I want this clean. Fast." "Kids?" "No." "Joint accounts?" "One checking, 2 cars, the house. Mortgage is halfway done. Then you're golden. Bring me your pay stubs and tax returns tomorrow. We'll file no fault, but I'll note infidelity if it helps you on property division." I hung up and just sat there. The sunlight hit the countertop she picked out 3 years ago, all quartz and gray veins, and it suddenly looked foreign, like I'd been living in a showroom someone else staged. At 9:02, she came downstairs. No makeup. Sweatpants. Eyes puffy. "Can we talk?" she said. "Sure," I said. "Talk." "I made a mistake." I didn't say anything. She sat across from me, hands shaking slightly. "It wasn't serious. It's been stressful lately. Work your hours." "Stop." I raised my hand. "Don't turn this into logistics. You weren't lonely. You were careless." Her jaw clenched. "You can't just throw everything away over one mistake." "I'm not throwing anything." "You dropped it." She stared at me, like waiting for the old me to appear, the fixer, the calm one, the guy who always tried to smooth rough edges. But I wasn't smoothing anything anymore. Finally, she said, "Who even does that? Calls a lawyer right away? Someone who means what they say." Her eyes filled, but I didn't look away. She stood, went upstairs, slammed the bedroom door hard enough to rattle the picture frames. Murphy lifted his head, looked at me, and sighed like an old man. That night she texted from the bedroom. "I'll sleep here tonight. We'll talk tomorrow. Please don't do anything rash." I replied. "Already did." Monday morning, 7:15 a.m. I dropped by Jeff's office before my first job call. Signed everything, initialed the spots he flagged, watched him slide the documents into a manila folder labeled Crawford vs. Crawford. Dissolution of marriage. He said, "She'll be served in a few days." "Good," I said. Driving to my next appointment, the radio was off. The van smelled like coffee and motor oil, the way it always did. But something in me felt cleaner. At 12:47 p.m., my phone buzzed. Her text. "You actually filed? Seriously?" I didn't reply. At 5:22 p.m., she texted again. "Can we fix this?" I typed. "No." Then deleted it and wrote, "You can't unbreak something you dropped on purpose." That night, I slept on the couch again. Murphy curled up at my feet. Around 2 a.m. I woke up to hear her crying upstairs, muffled, quiet. And for the first time, it didn't hurt. It just sounded like distance. Because the truth is, the hardest part of being betrayed isn't anger. It's realizing you don't care enough to be angry anymore. By Wednesday, it had gone from quiet tension to open war. 7:43 a.m. I was brushing my teeth when she appeared in the mirror behind me, arms crossed, eyes red. "You're really not going to talk to me?" I spit, rinsed, wiped my mouth. "What's left to say?" She followed me down the hall like she was auditioning for a courtroom drama. "You're not even going to ask who he is?" "Nope." "That's it? You don't care?" "I cared when it mattered," I said. "Now it's just paperwork." Her voice cracked. "You're being cruel. Claire, you stood in our kitchen and told me you were seeing someone." "I'm being efficient." That shut her up, for about an hour. At 8:52, she started texting again. Long ones this time. "I can't believe you're throwing away 8 years. We built a life together. I was unhappy, but I didn't mean for this to happen." I didn't answer any of them. By noon, she'd posted a vague Facebook status. Sometimes people give up instead of growing up. Mutual friends started calling within the hour. My buddy Matt texted, "Everything okay? Claire's posting weird stuff." I replied, Yeah, she cheated and I filed. Matt. Oh. Holy S *** T. Me. Yeah. At 5:03 p.m., I came home from a service call to find her at the dining table surrounded by papers, bank statements, receipts, mortgage files. I talked to a lawyer, she said without looking up. Good for you, I said, hanging my jacket. He says you can't just take everything because I made a mistake. Never said I would. I won half the house, half the savings, my car, my tools, and peace. That's it. You're acting like you don't even know me. I know you better now. She slammed her folder shut. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Making me the bad guy. Claire, you made yourself the bad guy. I'm just the guy fixing the mess. She went quiet after that. Too quiet. The kind that usually means someone's about to try something stupid. And sure enough, at 7:19 p.m., my mom called. Honey, Claire just came by. My stomach dropped. What? She said she wanted to apologize. Said you'd overreacted. Your dad told her to leave. Is everyone okay? Yes, but Evan, she looked desperate. Desperate people don't apologize, Mom. They negotiate. That night, 11:42 p.m., my phone buzzed again. A new text. You don't have to forgive me. Just let me come home. I stared at it for a long time, thumb hovering over reply. Then I typed, You are home. You just don't live here anymore. And I hit send. Thursday morning, 6:57 a.m. I walked into the garage, grabbed my toolbox, and noticed something small and stupid that almost broke me, the smell of her shampoo on the spare hoodie I'd left hanging by the workbench. Grief doesn't show up all at once. It leaks out in scent, silence, and routine. But I kept moving. I had ducks to clean, a van to fix, bills to pay. Because once you stop fixing other people's problems, the only thing left is fixing your own life. And for the first time, I was okay with that. Friday, 3:18 p.m. I got the notification from Jeff. Service confirmed. She'd been officially served at her office. HR department, fittingly enough. I was midway through replacing a compressor when my phone buzzed with 3 back-to-back messages. You embarrass me at work. Do you have any idea what you've done? Everyone knows now. I wiped my hands on a rag, took a deep breath, and texted back. Actions have consequences. Welcome to adulthood. Then I went back to work. That night, she showed up at my apartment. 8:46 p.m. I'd moved out 2 weeks earlier into a small rental above a garage, single bedroom, cheap rent, smells faintly of motor oil and rain. She must have followed me from my parents' place, because I never gave her the address. Murphy barked before I even opened the door. She stood there, makeup streaked, holding a grocery bag. I brought dinner. Not hungry. Evan, please. Her voice was small now, stripped of the edge she used to win arguments. Can we talk like adults? You had 8 years to do that, I said. I panicked, okay? I made one stupid decision. 2. I corrected. Cheating was 1. Thinking I'd still be here was 2. She set the bag on the floor. I can fix this. No, I said quietly. You fix cars. You rebuild trust. She stepped closer. You don't even miss me? I looked at her, really looked. She was still beautiful, still familiar, but she felt like a stranger wearing my memories. I miss who you were, I said. Not who you became. Tears this time. Real ones. I'll go to therapy. I'll quit my job if that's what it takes. It's not about punishment, I said. It's about peace. Please, she whispered. Don't do this. I already did. She stood there for another 30 seconds, waiting for me to crack. I didn't. She finally turned, muttering, You'll regret this. Maybe. But regret was lighter than resentment. When she left, I locked the door and leaned against it until my heart slowed down. Murphy pressed his head against my leg like he understood everything. Saturday morning, 7:02 a.m. I made a list, simple stuff. Close joint account. Cancel shared streaming. Remove her name from insurance. Change Wi-Fi password. Every line I crossed off felt like sanding down a rough edge. By afternoon, my parents stopped by with boxes of leftovers. My mom hugged me too long. My dad handed me a six-pack and said, "Proud of you, kid." Most men would have folded. I smiled. "I'm done folding." He nodded once, eyes soft. "Good. She's been playing poker with your patience for years." That night, I sat on the couch with Murphy, one beer left, and silence humming through the place. I realized I didn't feel lonely. I felt level. Balanced. At 10:11 p.m., she texted one last time. "You win." I typed back. It wasn't a game. Deleted the thread. Blocked her number. And when I finally went to bed, I slept straight through till morning, the first full night's sleep I'd had in months. 2 weeks later, I got a call from Jeff. "She's contesting," he said. "Her lawyer filed for mediation." Of course she did. "When?" I asked. "Next Friday. Be ready to stay calm. They'll try to rattle you." "I don't rattle," I said. And I didn't. Not anymore. Friday, 9 a.m. Sharp, I walked into the mediation office, coffee in hand, work boots clean, mind steady. Claire was already there with her lawyer, some younger guy who looked like he practiced smirking in the mirror. She looked smaller. Not physically, just deflated. Same blazer she wore to interviews back when she still believed in new beginnings. The mediator, an older woman with glasses on a chain, started with introductions and ground rules. I nodded, quiet. Claire's lawyer spoke first. "My client believes she deserves a greater share of the house equity due to emotional investment and career sacrifices." Jeff barely looked up from his notes. "My client's emotional investment was betrayed when she began an extramarital affair. The current offer, equal split of all assets, is already generous." The mediator looked at Claire. "Do you agree that infidelity occurred?" Claire's voice trembled. "I made a mistake." "That's not an answer," Jeff said evenly. "Yes or no?" She exhaled. "Yes." Silence. The kind that fills a room like concrete. I didn't smile. Didn't gloat. Just said, "I appreciate the honesty." Her lawyer shuffled his papers. "Regardless, we believe she's entitled to alimony." Jeff cut in. "They make comparable incomes. She doesn't qualify." The mediator cleared her throat. "Then I believe the equal division stands." 3 hours later, it was done. She got half the house sale, her car, her retirement. I got mine. No strings. No alimony. No future arguments. When we walked out to the parking lot, she followed me. "Can we talk for 5 minutes?" "No lawyers, no paperwork." "About what?" "Closure," she said. I almost laughed. "You got closure when you packed your gym bag." Her eyes filled. "I thought you'd fight for me." "I did," I said. "For years. You just didn't notice because you were too busy looking somewhere else." She reached out, fingertips barely brushing my sleeve. "Evan, please." I stepped back. "You already said goodbye. I'm just respecting it." Her mother was waiting by the car, arms crossed, glaring at me like I'd just burned down a church. "You happy now?" she hissed. "You broke her." "No," I said. "She broke herself. I just stopped sweeping up the pieces." And then I left. That night, I met Matt for beers. He asked how it went. "Final," I said. He nodded slowly. "How's it feel?" "Like when you finally turn off a leaking valve you didn't even realize had been hissing for years." He grinned. "That's extremely HVAC of you." "Yeah," I said, smiling for the first time in weeks. "Guess I fix leaks better than marriages." 3 months later, the divorce decree arrived in the mail, one thin envelope that ended 8 years of my life. I held it for a moment before opening. The paper smelled like toner and freedom. Final judgment of dissolution. Effective immediately. I didn't frame it. Didn't burn it either. Just folded it back into the envelope and slid it into the bottom drawer of my desk, right next to my mechanic's license, the one that proved I could rebuild anything except what I lost. Life after that wasn't dramatic. It was quieter. Simpler. I got used to cooking for one again. Started taking longer jobs out of town. Joined a gym. Took Murphy on longer walks at night, the kind where the silence feels like company, not punishment. The first Sunday I didn't have to choose between her plans and my family's dinner. I showed up at my parents' place with dessert. My mom's eyes watered when she saw me. My dad poured me a beer before I even took my coat off. "Feels good having you back," he said. "Feels good being back," I said. Dinner was peaceful. No tension. No eggshells. Just laughter and the hum of an old kitchen clock. When I got home that night, I checked my phone. One unread email, from Claire. Subject, last thing, I promise. Body. I know you don't owe me a response. I just want you to know I'm in therapy. I quit the affair, quit the job, moved back in with my sister. I finally get it. I wish I hadn't learned this lesson the hard way. I'm sorry. For everything. I read it twice, then 3 times. Didn't reply. Forgiveness isn't something you owe. It's something you earn, and sometimes you just run out of time to earn it. 2 months later, I signed the papers for a small house, nothing fancy. 1-car garage, tiny backyard, a place where peace didn't feel like silence but like space. When I hung my first framed photo on the wall, just me, my parents, and Murphy sitting in the grass, I realized I'd finally built something that couldn't be taken from me. Not a marriage. Not a promise. A foundation. And that's what I tell people now when they ask what happened. My wife wanted to play games. I stopped playing. My family stood by me. I stood up for myself. And peace, real peace, isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself. It just stays.